Welcome. Philly Uncensored Sport Podcast. The platforms, YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, Twitter, and iTunes. You can catch us on all them. Be back here after the Sixers victory over Orlando. I don't think anybody expected anything different. 122-97. I'm happy we got the victory locked down. The number one seed. It's in the books now, so we got home court throughout the playoffs, at least up into the finals. Do we still have a chance to get it in the finals, or?
I don't think so. I think the way it is now, it's going to go between either Phoenix or Utah. I think Utah got it locked up.
Okay.
We lost them 2 big games.
Yeah, that hurt us. So at least we got it locked up for the going into the, the whole Eastern Conference playoff. So that's we need for one. That's good because we need it. But it was a couple things that I saw in this game. Even though I know it was a formality game, the starters ain't play a lot of minutes. But from the starters, I didn't like how Embiid looked. I mean, his jumper was off. He settled for the jumper a lot. He didn't look. I mean, maybe he's still a little sick. They said he wasn't feeling good, but if that's the case, honestly, I feel you should have set him because he didn't look good. Like he didn't look like the BB was used to seeing the MVP caliber B averaging 28 points a game. At one point, he's averaging 30, if I remember, in the season. But he ended up with like 13 or something, or 16 So, I mean, like I said, was he mentally maybe not going that hard and shutting it down a little bit? Because, I mean, it was a lesser opponent. That's possible, but I didn't like how he looked. I mean, what's your thoughts?
I mean, I've seen the same thing. I'm more concerned with how Toby looked tonight than I am about Joel Embiid. You want to see the players going to the playoffs on a high note. You want to see the 3 going down, which is good for Seth and Danny. They did good, but Korkmaz, he was 2 for 7 from 3. But you want to go in the playoffs with a little bit of confidence. You want to go and play off on a high note. So I was saying the same thing before you even jumped on. I was saying the same thing to Tim about B. I didn't like how he looked. I didn't like how Toby looked. This team, Orlando, is a terrible team. They playing. I don't think not one player was a starter at the start of the season that they got in the game right now. They're not a good team. They're a bad team. Everybody's hurt and traded away. Yeah, we mopped them. We should have mopped them. First of all, go back to the game. I didn't like that we didn't start out mopping them, like Wayne liked to say. It took the bench in the second quarter for us to go up. The starters didn't even get the lead, and that what was we up like 8-0, 10-0, and they came running back. So I mean, I'm still not happy with what I see. Probably Sunday we might not see no starters. I don't know. Was Bede not trying to go hard so he wouldn't get injured? I don't know the mindset of that because you do want to go into the playoffs healthy. Let's be clear. Let's be clear with that. Yeah. You want to go in healthy. They got a week off to prepare, but I gotta tell you, the lingering effects of that Heat game still bothers me.
I agree. Well, just want to say, Big Wayne, he took a personal day today, so that's why you don't see him on the camera. And he actually was on every podcast except for this one, so he has an excuse.
Thank God.
Yeah.
No.
Well, did you ever have that donkey game back in the day where you had the basketball court and you was able to dunk and you was able to dunk? It was like that's how I feel.
A donkey game? Wait a minute.
It's called
donkey game?
Dunk it. It was like a dunk it.
A dunk it game. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay.
It kind of reminded me of you could do whatever you want. You could turn around, dunk, and shoot the ball because it's like right at your level as far as height. That's how I saw Steph Curry when he plays inferior teams. It's like he's playing on a donkey game. It's like a real miniature court. But when he plays against real,
I knew you would do that.
When he's playing against real competition, then he fades away. Then all of a sudden he can't get off his shot. So today he had 20 points. He was shooting all over the place because he was playing with like little kids. He was playing as if they lowered the courts so that everybody could play on an even level.
I mean, but you can't blame
him. But at the same time, I can blame him because I'm telling you, yesterday's game really took the sail out of my like.
But my thing about yesterday's game, he didn't even shoot bad. He just didn't shoot as much. Because I think it was like 3 for 6 or something yesterday. So
that's the problem though, because he didn't shoot. My expectation, to be honest, as a shooting guard, what is your job? To shoot the ball. Yeah. He is not to distribute the ball, not to set people up. His job specifically is to shoot. So my expectation of a shooting guard is to give me at least 18 points or more. That's my expectations.
I agree with you because I mean the numbers prove. This is what I always said. Remember, I always said I want to see 14 to 15 points from Seth. And the crazy part is I didn't even know since when they said when he scores at least 17, I think he's 14-0. So this is my expectation. This is why I agree with what Wayne said earlier. And I think we all agree that Seth plays a huge part in us being successful in this.
Absolutely.
Because he's our third. He should be real rap. The way Ben plays, he should be our third leading scorer. Yep. It should be Ben, Tobias, then Seth, then Ben coming in with his 13, 14, whatever. But Seth should at least be averaging around 15 to 16 points a game. Yep. Because all the open looks that he gets. That's one.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. I agree. I mean, but I can't say he only shows up against inferior talent because a couple games earlier, remember before he had these two kind of like subpar games, he played a couple decent games in a row. I can't even remember who they might have been against.
So, it was against trash.
It might have been, but listen, you gonna stop hating on my man, all right? You gonna stop hating on my young boy.
He do hesitate tonight, but he do hesitate too much. But tonight he was letting it fly.
Of course.
I still don't like George Hill. He was 1 for 5. He had like 2, 3. He had 3 points. He had 1 3-pointer.
We didn't do. Now going back to remember we originally had that first trade. We was trading for Kyle Lowry. And we had to give up Shake and I think who was it? Shake and
it might have been Maxey.
And Maxey. Would you still have done it? Would you do that trade?
I don't like the Maxey involved. You know what?
It was like 2 number 1 picks or something, wasn't it?
We ain't giving no 2 number 1s for Kyle Lowry now.
That's what I'm saying, but that's what he was asking for.
They was asking for a boatload of stuff.
I mean, you can't tell the future. So it's hard to say, would you do that for a chip? If I say, would you do that for a chip right now? Would you do it for a chip?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but it's so hard to predict the future. But to me, now is the time to try to sneak in and win a chip.
Yes.
You know what I mean? If them 3 in New Jersey stay together, it's only going to get harder. Yeah. Because they can take a year and put pieces around that team that they need.
Then when he going to be back?
Yeah, so
they're going to get themselves a real big man. Once they get a big man,
the Lakers coming back from injury, will they make it? So sometimes the chips just fall in a perfect scenario for you to make the chip, just like it did. Truth be told, Toronto, when they won their chip, everybody can say what they want, but the chips fell perfectly. Golden State got so hurt that hardly nobody was playing, and they waltzed into a chip. I don't believe they would have won it. They would not have won a chip with Kevin Durant and them playing. I'm sorry.
I don't even think they would have won a chip, honestly, if Clay didn't get hurt. So, but I agree with you 100%. Chips, the pieces fell perfectly in their favor. But I mean, honestly, in a lot of situations, that's how it happens. I mean, even look at Golden State first championship they got. We honestly, the crazy part is we honestly could be looking at Golden State and not winning any championships at all. Like
if Chris Paul didn't get hurt.
Slow down. If Kyrie and Love didn't get hurt the first championship, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then they probably don't win that one.
Nope.
Then the second championship, let's say everything unfolded the same way it did. Then LeBron came back in the 3-1. They don't win that one. Who knows if Kevin Durant don't go there, they may have never even been a dynasty. So sometimes it kind of just happens like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the way that the cookie kind of crumbles. And even like to Tim's point, even with the Kevin Durant thing, if Chris Paul got hurt, they may have lost with Kevin Durant against Houston in that 7-game series that they went to. So, I mean, I know what you're saying, though. It's a good thought about possibly trying to sneak in a championship. But even if you did, my thing is the risk is the risk worth the reward or the possibility of the reward? Because you're thinking, all right, if I'm giving all that up and I don't win a championship, I just really played myself.
Yeah.
But did you really play yourself?
Yeah, because Laurie become a free. My thing is you can still get Laurie. He a free agent after this year.
And
so
they said that
all
he's
that,
still one of our top priorities.
and you still could get him, but you didn't win a championship, and you still end up with him anyway. And you gave up all that to get him. That's my thing. So if you don't win this, if you give all that up for Laurie, you have to win this year.
Yeah,
you have to win. Just to justify you giving all that up.
I mean, they talking like they have to win anyway. They the way Maury was talking like championship or bust year.
We need shooters.
I'm telling you, y'all want to agree. Doc to me, if we get out trounced in the second round, I'm looking at Doc side eye. Like, and I'm starting to think about that stuff that Paul George was saying about him.
But I don't see the talent. I don't see the talent to win against.
He had the talent. Did he have the talent with the Clippers?
But Paul George went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. The Bull could not function.
So see, this is hold on, Tim. Hold on.
He couldn't function. Doc wasn't shooting bricks. Doc did not shoot bricks in last year's final or semifinal.
But you want to you blame Brett Brown for Ben, but you don't blame Doc for Paul George.
Brett Brown sat there and cultivated. He made Ben. He was like Captain Saver Ben. It's like it was wrong how he coddled the boy. He coddled Ben Simmons.
I think he coddled him less than Doc coddles him.
I agree with that.
For the simple fact, he said, I need Ben to shoot a 3 every game, and Ben never listened to him.
I agree with that.
That was 6 years down. After 6 years being his coach, he was like, I need Ben to shoot a 3. It took him 6 years before he started holding him account.
It wasn't no 6 years.
It was 6 years.
6 years.
Brett Brown was there for 7. Okay, not 6 years. He was there for 4 years.
They ain't been in the league for 6 years yet.
All right, 4 years.
But I hear your point. But I mean, the Ethan's point about Paul George. Coaches do impact the game, and they can impact players based on how you try to play them. Based on it's a certain rhythm. Sometimes players. Paul George's whole gripe about Doc was he said he wasn't using me to my strengths. He tried to get me to do things I wasn't used to. Now, what exactly that was, I don't follow Clippers that close. I didn't follow Paul George's career that close. So what is it what is it that he don't like to do or that Doc had him doing? I'm not sure about that. But
he was playing more off the ball.
That's huge. If a player ain't used to playing like that, and now you're trying to make him adapt to a whole new style in the middle of a playoff series.
But remember, they were new to each other. Then the Clippers was rolling up to that point. They was rolling. Then we went into the pandemic. Everybody separated. Then they had to come back in and then start.
But that's what I'm saying. Did he try to implement some new way he wanted him to play inside the bubble? Like I don't know.
Remember, he said his mentals was jacked up. He said he couldn't focus. Paul George was not the same Paul George the regular season.
I agree.
So you can't make excuses for him. I mean,
but as a coach, you need to try to make it easier for him to get him involved in the game. What can you do to help him? Because you need him. You need him. So you got to figure out what you can do to help him get involved and get focused on this game. What in the game you can do? What out the game you can do? I don't know. You know what I mean?
That's what he like.
Let me ask you this though, Tim. Real rap. Yeah. Have you ever been coached before? Like in the sport?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I haven't necessarily had a coach. Like I played street sports all my life. I never played organized sports. But my thing is, I've been on teams where I played with old heads, and old heads was like coaches, where they may see you checking out or see the team checking out, and they say the right thing or do the right thing to motivate you, put you in the right spot to motivate you to get your mind back on track. So this is what a coach is there for. The talent is already there. These dudes are talented. Paul George was he was in the MVP candidate the previous year with OKC. He had such a dominant year. So he's a baller. He's a legit certified NBA baller, borderline superstar. He hovering on that brink. So my thing is, as a coach, you got to be the one to push the buttons. Now, I'm not saying Doc didn't try. But he didn't for whatever reason, he didn't push the right buttons. So is it possible that he may not be able to push the right buttons with this team? We gonna have to see.
Let me ask you.
They was a 3-1. They was a 3-1, so they was on the verge of winning.
Yeah, that's part of coaching fault.
But I'm saying at some point, the players, and then they had like a 10, 15 point lead in a closeout game, and they let it fall apart. You can't, and this because he was bricking. You can't blame every single thing on the coach. You got to put
somebody got the wrong over there.
Nobody got no wrong there. We not blaming anything on the coach. Go ahead, Ethan. Go ahead.
I do got see Doc. What do you want to ship with the Celtics?
Yep.
Yeah,
the players on that team with Garnett and Paul, they didn't need Doc to motivate them.
they did. Have you ever seen that documentary? Yeah,
they did.
What they say in the documentary? I ain't see the doc.
They had a documentary that the doc did. I think it was on Netflix about coaches, and it was like this phrase, this African phrase that they was using, and they used it as a motivational piece. Doc was
no. Garnett, listen. I don't care what you think. Kevin Garnett don't need Doc Rivers to motivate him. Kevin Garnett need Doc Rivers to motivate him, Tim.
Kevin Garnett did nothing in Minnesota. Nothing. His teams was always first round exits.
He was who he played with.
Paul Pierce.
Who he played against.
But I'm saying,
he was getting knocked out by teams like the Spurs. He was getting knocked out by teams like the Spurs.
Paul Pierce, he wasn't getting. They was a perennial first round exit. They weren't doing any. They didn't do well in Boston. They struggled.
But Kevin Garnett carried his team to the playoffs almost every year. They, like Ethan said, they ran into the Lakers, they ran into the Spurs, they ran into the Phoenix Suns.
And they ran right out the playoffs.
Yeah, but I mean, who's in Minnesota though? I'm not saying Doc trash. I'm not saying he's a legitimate winning coach. He won a championship.
He's the second winningest coach in the history of NBA.
He got the resume to prove.
Hold on. He coached the Celtics from 2004 to 13. So all them years before Garnett and when they won it in 08. So the year before when Paul Pierce was getting knocked off the playoffs, that was Doc.
Because Danny.
So now you make a see, but now you're gonna make an excuse.
Danny Ainge was like, listen, it's going to be a bad situation. You're going to be losing. But he said, this is the plan. Your job is not in jeopardy. I need you to stick to it. They came to his house and they begged him to take the job. They knew it was going to be a program. It was a situation they was trying to build a program. This is what they was doing. So yes, it was Doc, but it was because the team stunk.
You know, Chris Paul didn't want to come here and play for Doc.
I mean, they said, was that before or after Doc was hired?
I don't know. I mean, I think I remember hearing something like that to that degree. I can't speak on that.
But didn't Chris Paul play with Doc?
He played with Bob for the Clippers. They had a falling out. They had a big falling out.
And they never won nothing. They never won nothing.
They won some. They won. They didn't win a lot. They did lose. That I'll admit. They didn't win like they supposed to. That Clipper team. They
underachieved. They underachieved.
They did.
Doc still. So y'all hate on my man Doc. I ain't gonna let you do that.
See, my thing. What
we're not gonna do.
I mean, what this is going to irritate me.
By the way, before Ethan gets carried, I'm gonna let you Ethan, but they only won one chip with Kevin Garnett and them. They should have won more.
They was going to win that following year in the Lakers, but Perkins went down.
No,
in that Lakers series.
That was they won one. The next year they didn't go to the championship because Garnett, I think, got hurt.
I thought they played the Lakers the following year and lost.
They went 2 out of 3. If I'm not mistaken, it went like this. They won one. They didn't make it to the championship the next year. And then the following year they went, and that's when they lost to the Lakers. If my memory serves me correctly, because I thought the same thing as you, Tim, and I looked it up, and I'm like, that's right. Hold on, I forgot they did. Somebody got hurt. I think it was a couple people. I think Garnett and either Paul or Ray Allen missed a lot of games that second year, and they didn't make it. Then they went back on the third year, and they lost when Perkins got hurt in Game 7, which I think most people felt they would have won if Perkins would have played.
They would have won.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. But I mean, listen, I'm gonna judge him specifically on what we see in his playoffs. What I've been seeing and what we all been saying, that this 5 bench lineup that he likes to bring out, I can't stand. You should never bring out with all this supposed talent we have on our team as regards our starters. You should never have all 3 of them off the court at one time. So we'll see. I doubt if that'll happen in the playoffs. It better not. If I see him run a whole bench rotation out there in the playoffs, I'm done.
You're not gonna see that. What you witnessed was they played 5 games and 7 nights. You saw a condensed season where they played 71 games in a really small period of time. So you had to play those players at that time.
But let me ask you, what is he doing different with Ben? Ben's probably statistically having his worst year.
Tim got to answer that. He getting Tobias to play better. I say that.
The thing is, everybody around Ben is having career years. So Ben statistically may be down as far as points are concerned, but everybody that's on that starting lineup, Danny Green, Joel Embiid, Seth.
Danny Green not having no career year.
He's having a career year. All of them are in some aspect in that career.
Danny Green's not having Danny Green. First of all, you got to go back. You got to stop. See, y'all got to stop doing this. You just throw up stuff to make it look good.
I agree.
Stuff that's not factual
to make it sound good.
Yes, Danny Green. Danny Green's a career. Hold on, he's a career 9-point-a-game scorer, and that's what he averaged this year. That's his career. He's not having any career. His career best was 11 points a game with San Antonio. He's not having a career year.
He has the most corner threes in the NBA this year. That's a career year.
Corner threes or threes?
Corner threes.
But is it a career year for him? Is it the most that he's hit in his career?
That's the most he's ever hit in his career.
No,
it's not. That's this no.
How do you know that I'm lying?
This is stuff that Wayne do. This is stuff that Wayne do. He throws something out there like he led the league in steals 3 times. Like, oh, do you really know that? Saying that.
Everybody around him, everyone around Ben Simmons is having a career year. Everybody.
You said it again. That's not true.
It's true. Steph Curry's having a career year.
He had a career year last year when he led the league in 3-point percentage.
Steph Curry's not having a career year.
He's 9th in 3-point percentage.
His career best was in Dallas when he averaged 12.8. He's out right now at 12.3.
What, points?
Yeah, per game.
He just had a couple bad games. Up until yesterday, he was having a career year.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Stop doing out.
That was the same. That's the exact same thing. Y'all doing
the lie detector test found out that was a lie.
I'm just saying, man. I know we supposedly up. We are first place in the East, so that helps with the coaching, I guess. Yeah. But I don't want to see the same things we get knocked off the playoffs from before. If B can't get motivated, if he's coming in with that sick mopey stuff, what Doc gonna do? Especially in the playoff game. Okay, the regular season game, all right. I guess you could live with that. I still don't want to see it there. I think it should be addressed because I think that's something that can carry on to more games. So what are you gonna do when Joel Embiid comes in? Oh, my stomach hurt. Yeah, I'm not in it. I'm not in a playing mood. What we gonna do that?
He's not out there in the playoffs. He shouldn't be acting that way. He had every virus you could possibly have. He should be immune to everything. He got all the antibodies in the system.
And does Doc have the cojones if his son-in-law ain't playing well to bench that dude? Pull him out the game.
He should have.
How long is his rope?
It's just that for me personally, I'm putting a lot of blame on Daryl Morey in the construction of this team.
You want to blame everybody else?
No, because he's responsible. Tell me this: if you look at the team that Elton Brand constructed that 2 years ago, when we had JJ, Jimmy, Tobias, Ben, and Embiid, those 5 compared to the starting 5, I'm taking that 5 over this 5 every time. Because Jimmy,
let's look at that Toronto series from last year, though, right? We blame Brett.
Hold on, to say that again. Who you taking now?
Jimmy, JJ, Tobias, Ben, and Embiid. Starting
over this starting 5.
Yes.
Okay, I agree with that.
And that was constructed by Elton Brand. Because Jimmy, to me, JJ and your boy Seth are comparable. They interchangeable.
Yeah,
I agree. Take JJ.
And I'll take J. JJ hasn't been playing well as a lady, but them years with us, he was balling.
Exactly.
But I know we like to blame Brett for that Toronto loss, but B holds a lot of responsibility for the sick games.
You do.
You know what I mean? So how can you literally blame Brett? And the same thing just happened to Doc.
Because Brett wasn't as bad of a coach as we make him out to be. It's just that he did stupid things that we didn't like. Like I did like him developing. TJ McConnell should never be in the NBA, but now he has a career in the NBA because he developed and nurtured the talent.
I can't sit there and honestly say TJ shouldn't be in the NBA. TJ works hard. He hustles. He does everything he needs to do to stay in the NBA. He's diving on the floor for loose balls. He's doing whatever he needs to do to stay in there. I can't knock that. I can knock it because he gave an opportunity to somebody who was a hard worker. He was a minimal. He got the best out of. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
But if you can get great talent and then get the best out of the great
let's
talent.
Let's be honest. I like Seth Curry, but he wouldn't start really on no other team in the NBA.
I agree.
He's a bench player.
I agree.
So is Doc giving Seth the opportunity that nobody else is giving?
No, yes. Maury brought him in. All right. No, first of all, that's not true because he was a starter for Dallas last year.
No, he wasn't. He got off the bench, wasn't he?
No, he started next to Luka.
Let me see how true that is.
Him and Luka was the starting backcourt, and that's why we ended up trading Seth.
Nope, that's false. He started 25 games last year. He played in 64.
He was injured.
He's played in 64 games. He started 25.
He was a starter. If you start 25, that means you're a starter.
Out of 64, that means you started because somebody was hurt.
No, that means he started and just stunk it up. He started with Luka.
He didn't start the whole season. He started sporadically.
My thing, let's go back a little
25 starts is a lot of starts.
Out of 64 games? No, it's not.
Who y'all talking about now?
Steph Curry. Last year, out of 64 games, he started 25 times.
He got hurt. Like he always do.
No, he was rotating. He wasn't starting over Luka though. I think it was him and
him and Luka was together. That's their back. That was their back.
Him and Trey, not Trey.
It's the other boy, Dennis Smith Jr. I think plays the other guard, right? If I am mistaken, that's who you probably was swapping starts with. How many games Luka start?
Man, I remember the season got interrupted last year.
Yeah. So they only played a total, I think, at most teams they only play around.
Not Dennis Smith Jr. They had who they have?
Tim Hardaway.
Trey Burke.
Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yeah, Tim Hardaway Jr.
That's what I mean. How many games he played? He started. Tim Hardaway.
Yeah, Tim Hardaway Jr. started 58 games out of 71.
Yeah, so I think that's who he was kind of splitting some of the starts with. And then whenever Luka didn't play, he played, probably like that. But my thing, let's back it up a little bit. Let's go back to Brett. Brett, to me, was a bad coach. That tells me why that team was so good. I think almost any other coach in the NBA would have won with that team. We would have beat Toronto and we would have won the NBA Finals because I think we'd have beat Milwaukee. We do have problems with Milwaukee, but I still think we was a better team. And then we'd have ran into an injured Golden State team and we'd have beat them too. So Brett was trash. Brett had to go. He wasn't no good. Jimmy exposed Brett. We all exposed Brett, all the dumb stuff we saw year after year. So Brett had to go. But now that we're on the dock, I do see a better coach, but this is where he's going to earn his keep. He's going to earn his keep in the playoffs. You're going to see how much motivation he got, all these African proverbs that you said he was kicking in Boston and all that kumbaya stuff he was doing. We're going to see if all that skullduggery work come next week. That's what we're going to find out. So I'm interested to see how this thing going to shape up. I'm interested to see what B going to look like. If B don't average 27 to 30 points in the playoffs, I'm going to be highly upset.
But are you going to blame Doc or are you going to blame?
It depends on how it go down.
So
man.
So answer this question. What is your expectations for this team?
Eastern Conference Finals.
As the number one seed.
Eastern Conference Finals. No less.
They have to make the Eastern Conference Finals
Yes.
for it to be a successful season.
Yes.
I agree. As the number one seed, they should be in the NBA Finals.
That's hard. That's hard. Depends on who they face in the Eastern Conference Finals.
The only reason why, first, I'll say this: if the Nets was healthy, we wouldn't be a number one seed. So if we lose to the Nets because they fully healthy, that to me, I'm not mad at that because we wouldn't have been number one seed if Kevin Durant, Kyrie, and Harden would have played together all year.
Depends on how we play.
I can guarantee you that. But I agree with. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it unfolds. I'm interested.
I'm telling you, losing the first round, I want Doc's head.
No, you can't give this man 1 year and all of a sudden that's
it. So we lose in the first round. Who going? Doc or Morey?
Ben Simmons.
Neither one of those two are gone. What we got to do is Danny Green's money come off the books. That's 50. We got $25 million. We need to go get a true shooter, somebody who can create their own shot, a star.
Like, you act like they fall off trees. They feel like they fall off trees. See, all this stuff, we need a true star. We see somebody create their own shot. You know why we got to do all that? Because Ben can't. That's why. In order to keep him around, you got to put stars around him to make him look good. You know what? Let me stop.
Yeah,
I don't want to go that route.
No, listen. I mean, there's a lot of people in the comments. It was a lot of comments we had in our last video. ESCHEY says he think the game was a blessing disguise. Now he's talking about the last game, the Miami game. He said, sneaking feelings that if Ben don't get off in the playoffs, this will be his last season with the Sixers. Do y'all think that is some truth to that? Yeah, they don't really think about moving him if he don't really do nothing.
Yeah,
I don't think they would move him for just anybody though. Who would you move him for? Because the only way I think you can keeping Ben is ideal for the Sixers. My thing is you got to get a Batman in here because Joel is a Robin.
Ben's not Batman.
Neither is Joel.
Wait a minute. Joel is Batman.
Joel's not Batman. We don't have a Batman.
Hold on. You think a bull who's almost who at least made a solid showing for MVP is not a Batman?
No, I don't. I see a score. I mean, I would try.
Somebody cut his mic off. Here. Cut his mic off. To me, B is more. To be honest with you, B is more of a Batman than Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal will come here and be a Robin.
I kind of agree with that.
Well,
I mean, the way I can't even say that. I can't say that. I can't. He might. If Bradley Beal came in, it'd be like the Justice League. He'd form up with another top tier superhero. But Bede is a Batman. He's a top tier. He ain't no Robin and nobody, bro. Unless you got Jordan or LeBron in here or something, for the most part, or Curry or KD maybe, then you can start saying he might be second fiddle. But other than that,
I'm telling you, we should have pulled the trigger on Harden.
Oh, we tried to.
We tried. The boy was hating.
Oh yeah, that's right. Houston hated him.
Remember, he shored up the Bucks team and he shored up the Nets team just so that we won't win an NBA championship. The only
He did.
So at this point, there's nothing like we's battling. But as far as Embiid, I'm out on Embiid as far as being the number one. He's like a okay. I won't say Robin. I'll say he's a 1A. He's not your primary.
Embiid is a top 5 player in the league right now.
No, he may be top 10, top 15.
GM, my arch nemesis, GMNA Leach. I'm gonna start calling him G Leach. He said that first he was hating. He said, "Man, Ethan was happy that the Sixers lost and Ben didn't play good." But that's not the point. But he did say he think they needed that smack in the face, and maybe they can stop smelling themselves and get ready to play ball once the playoffs come.
They don't feel pain. It's like it's.
Do you think that with this smack in the face is going to motivate us for the playoffs?
Nope.
For Miami?
Nope. But like you said, when Ben got that number one, when he scored 1 point and he didn't come back the next year. I mean, this is what you've been saying for the last 3 years. You said,
I'm just asking questions because you know how I feel. I'm just asking y'all.
And Joel, he gonna sit there and play with. He was gonna have his child just chill. He's not affected by it.
To be honest with you, I think all the other teams out of the top 3 teams in the East, they'd rather face us.
Oh yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Than the Bucks and the Nets. Even the Heat. I think the Heat want to play us, knock us out the playoffs, and go on to these conference. I'm telling you, I think most teams in the East rather play us than the Bucks or the Nets.
We like a finesse team. We like a
finesse. Because we just don't have the star power like the other teams do. You know what I mean?
AKA street dudes.
But that's what I was saying. See, remember I said that about.
We don't have no swag though. We don't come in with swag. Go ahead.
But that's what I was saying before about when Ethan was talking about the big 3 and all that, and then Wayne was like, "We don't think we got a big 3." Tobias to me in this era is not. He don't make the cut of a big 3. In 1993, he would have been a great second option. And 2021.
He wouldn't not 93.
Yeah, like around like in 93 when you had the Bulls and the Suns and the
he would have been nice.
He'd have been a real solid second option scoring 20 points
back then. He's a third option player.
No, now in today's game, he's a third option. You go back to the 90s or the 80s, he was a great second option. Now, to me, that's why you need somebody like Bradley Beal. If you have Bradley Beal, not him being your second option, you slide him in the third, you slide Ben on out the door, and now you got a legit team.
See, that was hate. Well, let me go.
It was slid in there nicely, though.
That was hate, though. But remember when we had T.O., like the Eagles was always a good team, but when we matched up against the big dogs like New England, we couldn't battle with them. But when we got T.O., all that swag came in. Everybody had swag. All the receivers was walking around. They looked better than they was because they had T.O. T.O. was like, y'all not gonna smack us around no more. Same thing happened when we had Jimmy Butler. When Jimmy Butler came here, then we had all that swag. We was fitting. We were like, yo, we was swelling up. We don't have that dude on our team. That's what we're missing. That's the missing piece. Is that one guy that give us the swag that we need to take us to the next level.
I kind of agree with that.
I'm all on board with that. But who is this next guy? Then? Who is this dude to take us to the promised land?
I know. So see what y'all doing though? Y'all talking like we already lost in the playoffs.
Playoffs.
y'all talking like we already lost. You know what I'm saying? We do gotta see what happens.
All right.
You're like, what's next? We out the playoffs. Y'all saying like we out the playoffs. Let's even start yet.
That's how disheartening.
Yesterday's game did that to me. Yesterday's game took all hypeness, everything I thought about.
I agree.
I was like, how can we get around what we were seeing yesterday? Like, how can you coach us out of this mess?
That's what's wrong with Wayne now. Wayne having nightmares.
But I say this. I will say this. And not because I'm trying to keep from the skies falling, but it is some very bad signs I'm seeing. But even in playoff series, I saw teams get routed and then come back and win. Like even I'll go back to the Golden State 3-1 collapse against Cleveland. A couple games Cleveland ran out the building, and then they came back and ran Golden State out the building like 1 or 2 games. So sometimes those kind of games happen when nobody hitting, it just look goofy. But I think all our points is valid, which kind of scares us. What we see with the Ben not shooting. Embiid looking sick and once he gets the double team, he's not passing effectively out of the double. Tobias trying but not being really good enough. Seth up and down. All of these points is valid. I think that's what's scaring us.
Yeah.
But if these dudes my thing, if they could get clicking, if they playing at their pinnacle, we can win some games.
Yeah.
If Steph giving you 15, 17 points, knocking down shots like he did tonight. Even with Ben giving you 10, 12 and dropping 8 dimes, 7 assists, 8 dimes, 7 rebounds, B giving you 26, 28, Tobias giving you 20. We can beat any team. But the fact of the matter is, can we uphold that for a whole 4 wins in a 7-game series?
Asking Steph a career scorer? He's been in the league a long time, too.
We are going to need
He's a career 10-point-a-game scorer.
He was never a starter, though. His first year start.
And we want him to give us 17 points a game. I think it's a lot.
He had a leg. Steph had a leg. Steph had a leg injury last year.
I mean, You asking for 17 points a game that's going to be coming against top defensive teams.
Yep.
That's a lot.
Paul George, we gotta go to if we get to the finals, and then you gotta go against all them players. And we don't got. All right, let's. Positive thing is the Sixers, they did very well. They actually got the number 1 seed. We're gonna end up
number one, baby.
One seed.
Number 1 in the East.
Number 1 in the East. So we're gonna give them the shout out to Doc Rivers for getting the team to get that number 1 seed.
True that.
Embiid had a very good season. He was in the MVP race up until the very last month.
These last 2 games really kicked him out the MVP.
Yeah. And so shout out to the Sixers.
If anybody out of town listening, just to give y'all a little, and this gives y'all a little bit of insight on the Philadelphia fan psyche, how we operate. So, what was the quote? I think it was by Mike Smith when he said, "You win a game, and then the next day you get the agony of reading about it in the paper or something like that." Like it's like you win, but then the hate even after you win is crazy. But that's just how I guess we so passionate about our teams, and we look into all the nuances of how you could end up losing. I think instead of we gotta look more how you can end up losing than how you can end up winning. But that's just how we operate. So if you out of town, you from Miami, Milwaukee, when you play Chicago, this is how we do it.
Yeah, they say Negadelphia for a reason. We wear that pride. But
with that being said, we're gonna win a championship this year.
Yeah, championship. Go Eagles.
Championship or bust.
But this is the end of the road. We got one more game on Sunday night. Well, we host at Orlando. This is a young. That one thing about the Orlando team, they got some talent. The boy, Cole Anthony, he has potential to be a nice scorer in the league.
That's what's his name? Greg Anthony's son.
Yeah.
Oh, word! I didn't know.
Yeah. Okay. And he had I think he had like a 50-point game this year, so he has the ability.
I know he had like 2 game winners.
Yeah, he went off.
And the boy RJ Hampton, he's a real good. He's a young boy, only 19. And so he has potential. So with him and Markelle Fultz come, they got a nice young nucleus. So they have a base, and they're going to have one of the top picks in the draft. So if they draft a big man another 5 years, they might be the next team to be coming up in the East.
Yeah, that's true. So I mean, hey, look, as long as we keep pace, this is why Ben is so disappointing and so disheartening. And not to jump all on this again, but he young. All I ever wanted to see was our team be a Shaq and Kobe type dynasty, a Tim Duncan, Tony Parker type duo that got together and for 10 years won you 3 championships or 4 championships, but was always in the hunt, was always knocking on the door. Clay and Steph type deal. Just get 2 dudes together that just work so perfectly together that they always in the hunt. This is what we wanted from Penn, and this is why
Mike and Scott.
This is what exactly. This is why I come down so hard on, because we had it. We tanked for this, and we got it. And we got the dude that refuses to shoot the ball. That it's disappointing. But
and then we got another boy that he gets sick every playoffs. So and that hurts us too. But listen, we going out on a high. They announced earlier this week that Vanessa Bryant is actually going to be giving a speech inducting Kobe in the Hall of Fame this year. So shout out and rest in peace to Kobe. Mm-hmm. And then finally, after this, hopefully she goes away and just raise her kids.
Yo, stop hating us. Stop.
I do a lot of cloud chasing, but
I thought we leave it on a high note. Let's leave it on a high note.
On a high note.
She a widow, her husband died. She giving a speech. That's what's up.
She could have let Michael Jordan give it or somebody else. There's no
Jordan gave his old whack speech that time. Jordan had his time in the sign and in the light. He gave that whack speech and he won his Hall of Fame.
She kicked her mom out the house, but that's another story altogether.
Let her live.
Let her
all right.
You on the road these last 2.
All right. Thank y'all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can catch us on iTunes, all the social media outlets out there. So thanks for watching, and we'll see y'all on Sunday.
We'll be doing a couple of the playoffs games that didn't play.
Let them know. We'll be on next week, even though the season's over. We're gonna be doing what's the play-in? We'll be giving y'all commentary on the play-in. So if y'all have y'all teams out there, we'll be talking about it.
Watch for the notifications.
All right, we out, ladies and gentlemen.